Zimbabwe has begun circulating notes and coins in its latest new currency, the third in a decade. The government hopes Zimbabwe gold, or ZiG, will help control soaring inflation and persuade people to move away from the US dollar. A study in the Gambia has found that a stick-on vaccine patch could be an effective alternative to injections in the fight against measles in young children. The trial found the immune response to the patch was as strong as it was to an injection. Apple says it's trying to fix a problem that's causing some iPhone alarms to remain silent. It's unclear how many people have been affected by the fault, which has led users to oversleep.
Japan has given an official response to comments by President Biden that included the close US ally in a group of nations he'd described as xenophobic. Tokyo said the remarks were unfortunate and misguided.
The President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, says she'll raise the need for fair competition when she meets the Chinese leader Xi Jinping alongside President Macron in Paris today. Mr. Xi is making his first state visit to an EU country in 5 years.
The payroll system of the British Armed Forces has been hacked. The BBC has been told by government officials that China is most likely responsible. The database includes names and bank details of armed forces personnel.
TikTok and its Chinese owner ByteDance have filed a legal challenge to a US law that would ban the video app unless it's sold to another company. They said their case was based on several grounds, including the constitutional right to free speech.
The pharmaceutical giant AstraZeneca says it's withdrawing its COVID-19 vaccine worldwide. A statement said the decision was purely commercial, as the jab had been superseded by products that target new COVID variants. The vaccine was credited with saving more than 6 million lives in its first year.
South Korea says North Korea stole a massive amount of personal information, including names and financial records, from the database of Seoul's Supreme Court over 2 years. The cyber attack is presumed to have been carried out by the notorious North Korean hacking group Lazarus.
Japanese police say they received a record number of lost items last year, which they partly blame on people carrying ever smaller electronic devices. Almost 30 million items were handed in 2023.
Balloons carrying propaganda leaflets and USB sticks with K-pop music have been sent across the border by North Korean defectors living in the south. Seoul has tried to prevent such action to avoid angering Pyongyang.
The US Justice Department has accused Boeing of violating the terms of a settlement over 2 deadly crashes involving its 737 MAX aircraft. The deal shielded Boeing from federal legal proceedings for the crashes in Ethiopia and Indonesia, which killed 346 people.
Vladimir Putin has arrived in Beijing for a 2-day state visit, which he hopes will underline strengthening relations between Russia and China. He was greeted by a guard of honour.
Shareholders of the troubled American plane maker Boeing have approved a $33 million pay package for the outgoing Chief Executive Officer, Dave Calhoun. That's despite concerns over recent production and safety failings.
The WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange could learn today whether the High Court in London will allow his extradition to the US. Mr. Assange has been resisting extradition for more than a decade.
The European Union has formally approved using profits from frozen Russian central bank assets to arm Ukraine. It said a sum exceeding $3 billion could be transferred to Kiev this year. Brussels has frozen more than $200 billion of Russian central bank assets held in the bloc.
Ireland, Spain and Norway have announced they will formally recognise Palestine as a state, saying they hoped other Western countries would do the same. Spain's Prime Minister said the move was aimed at accelerating efforts to reach a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas in Gaza.
Britain's political parties are gearing up their campaigns after Rishi Sunak called a snap general election to be held in 6 weeks' time. The Prime Minister's announcement took many MPs by surprise. His Conservatives are trailing Labour in opinion polls after 14 years in power.
A group of British MPs have urged whoever wins July's general election to consider a total ban on smartphones for under 16s. The Education Select Committee says children's mental and physical health is being harmed by the amount of time they spend using technology.
The BBC has learned that the FBI has been investigating the sale of hundreds of treasures that the British Museum believes were stolen from its collection. Some of the objects have been located across the world, including in the United States.
Belgium will send 30 F-16 fighter jets to Ukraine as part of a new assistance package. The Netherlands, Denmark and Norway have also promised the jets, which Kiev says will help fend off Russian attacks.
North Korea appears to have made good on its threat to send trash over the border in retaliation for propaganda leaflets sent north on balloons. South Korea's military said 200 balloons were found with plastic bags attached containing waste paper and even excrement.
Hackers say they've gained access to the personal details of more than 500 million users of the online ticket sales platform Ticketmaster. In an online forum, the group has demanded a ransom payment to prevent the data being shared.
시청해 주셔서 감사합니다. 다음 시간에 뵙겠습니다.